Hi. Hi everyone, good evening. It's just Damien here. I've got the girls out again. Boobies. But yeah, just a little bit of an update of what my progression look is going to be like and what I want out of life and the good, the bad, the ugly. So yeah, I've been getting a little bit of vertigo the last couple of days since I've been wearing these since I've been wearing these, and it seems to have settled down a little bit today. But I'd made an appointment with the doctors and I'd phoned the opticians as well just to get a double look at it because it was it was related to putting the glasses on and that kind of thing. So I can see the TV fine with the glasses on, but I get a bit wobbly on my feet, and when I put the glasses on and walk about, I'm more wobbly on my feet. So I did get my eyes tested last year, and these were the I had a voucher, and these were the ones that I bought in October last year. These are my favourite pair, and yeah, it's like you do this, you do that. It's like I'd rang the Specsavers in Darlington, and they were like, yeah, yeah, come in, come in. We'll book this appointment for you. You won't need to pay. Things have changed with your eyes and that kind of thing. It's fine. So got there for 12. Had to get a taxi. They put a bit of a waiting charge on for the taxi, about 19-20p. But it was I was having some issues when I left the house. It was like I'd knocked the alarm off. I'd knocked the house alarm, and I'm like I couldn't remember the code. I've had it for years. Couldn't remember the code. Um, and I need to sweep the drive as well, the gravel. So it delayed me. Got to the opticians, and I got told that because I'd had my eyes tested last year, they'd be able to do it, but it'd have to be private, and I wouldn't get the voucher towards new glasses or whatever if I needed to. So it's a little bit disheartening, uh, being told the wrong thing, especially having to rush around and get a taxi. I had to pay £5.20 out my own money to get a taxi for for an appointment that I was given the wrong information for. So I have put a complaint in with the management and that to see if I can get the money reimbursed. But I've been out for some lunch anyway, so I was going to go out for some lunch anyway before the doctors. But after the appointment, I had to come straight home because I wanted to get the alarm fixed before the doctors. So yeah, I rang the alarm company, with the book, and they're like, he didn't really want to reset it or anything, to do the resetting over the phone or anything like that, because because he was stating that I need to contact the people that had installed it, and I'm like, I don't know who, I can't remember who installed it, and it was installed by the council, and I'd said I had some work done, uh, by the council, and my old alarm system got damaged, and I got it fitted then. However, the problem was that he wasn't giving me a chance to explain, so he said to go outside and have a look at the siren on the wall. Just to double check and just to double check about what's just to double check because it'll have a number on. There's definitely no number on there, so I'm like rang back and it put me through to a lady this time, and she transferred me to someone else. And the second guy that I'd spoke to was really good. He went through the master code and that with me, but that wasn't working. And then he was transferring me to someone else to see if I could see if I could book someone out to come and sort it out or whatever. But then it then I remembered what the code was, so it's working now. So yeah, and then I went back to the pharmacy before I went to the doctors just to get my weekly meds. But the problem was that it was a good thing that I did decide to come back from town early. It was a good thing that I decided to come back from town early because when I went for my prescription meds, the weeklies weren't ready or they didn't have the weeklies. Normally, what happens is the batch send 12 weeks in one go and then they normally authorize it weekly. So I'd normally go in on a Monday, which is today. So I'm like, they were like, yeah, you were told last week that you're on your last number and that, but genuinely, after the pharmacist had told me last week, I'd rang the doctor whilst I was leaving the doctor's surgery. Sorry, I didn't ring. I rang the doctor's surgery, and they're like, we'll let them know, we'll do this, we'll do that. But I got there and it wasn't ready, so I'd had a word with the doctor whilst I was there this afternoon, and yeah, it's sorted now. So yeah, I will have to get my medication changed again uh, in a few weeks when I do go away or when I'm planning on going away, because as I say, the chemist has the supply there, but they need to be authorised from the doctors to say that I can have 2 weeks extra in advance. So yeah, it's I've got to have it in the reason why it's on weeklies is because I have overdosed and self-harmed in the past, and when I am looking for other projects and other opportunities to do, I'm getting told that I've got self-harm risks, overdose risks, they're not interested. But genuinely, I haven't overdosed in nearly 2 years or self-harmed, and it's like, yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that, but it's more about what I want to do is understand more about the autism, the mental health, and go down the correct path that I want to go down. And it's a little bit hard at the moment because I feel like whatever decision I make, someone's going to be upset or someone's going to be angry and disappointed. But I need to be true to myself. I need to be true to Danielle. I need to be, be become congruent and happier in myself. And it's about understanding what I want rather than what other people want. We were doing about started a group with the church and that, and we were on about the Ten Commandments, and we were on about love thy neighbour last week, and I said it can be hard, can be hard at times where you're trying to please too many people in one go. Like this person wants this off you, this person wants that off you, this person wants this off you, this person wants that. But you need to be but I need to find that balance of pleasing myself and pleasing other people. If I knew how to please everyone in one go, I'd be the a multi-millionaire. I'd be the world's richest man. But yeah, it's like knowing what I want and knowing what I want to be true to myself and that kind of thing. I did do an e-consult on Friday last week. The doctors want me to do one e-consult a week now because at first I was doing too many and then I phoned and then then that was too much and I got told to do one e-consult a week on a Friday, but I feel bad. I feel bad because they'd they'd replied back to me and I had to reply to it. So yeah, I had to do another one to reply, but it was just about last week I'd emailed the doctor asking her if she could go through the the la- the latest reports and that I've sent over, just just so that she has a better idea of what's going on. And these are the new reports that I have had done with the communication therapist. So it's about getting everyone on the same page, same hymn sheet. I know that there is talks about community mental health again, but it's it's not what I want to do, and it's very hard to understand how it went wrong in the past because in the past I'd, as I say, I'd seen my previous CPN on social media. I let the crisis team know. They'd advised me to let the mental health team know. So I'd sent evidence of me sending evidence just to try to clear my own back. But I ended up digging myself deeper and deeper into a bit of a bad situation. So I so then things had went wrong, and the matron basically implied that he knew that I was a danger to women before he'd even met me. And then he said to me on more than one occasion he didn't mind if he overdosed. And like as I say, they branded me danger to women. So it's quite hard to do to know if what they're telling me is is you get what I mean, or if they generally want to help. But it's like in the past, I've I've tried following safety plans before. You get reassured on the plans. You get reassured on the plans. You get this brought in. You get that brought in. This hasn't worked. That's not worked. It's the guidelines, recommendations only. You need to we need to work with you on changing it. We need to work with you on changing it. But then it's like you need to be clear with Amy and the guidelines, recommendations only. But it, but it's it's yeah, it's just big massive circle at the moment. Like in September last year, I'd got upset about the way that someone had dealt with me, and I was getting into upsetting, distressing thoughts. And I'd run the crisis team. They said it was a police matter. The crisis team had told me to ring the police told me to ring the crisis team. Then I tried someone else. So it was, it was just a mess. And then it's like the police said they're going to put me on this special allocation scheme, and that backfired. And now I'm going to court. And I just, like, as I said, just it's all because I'm trying to follow advice and guidelines, and following the advice and guidelines, I just feel like it's encouraging me to break the law. But one of the reasons why I enjoy working with my communication therapist is because she is autistic as well, and when we do chats, when we do conversations, I find I find that we've got this in common, that in common, and it's like I feel like there's more of a connection growing and there's more things in common. I'd rather have that interconnectivity with a person and find something that we've got a common interest in and find it therapeutic. The Darlington mental health team want didn't want to know that. They were basically implying that it can be too therapeutic or whatever, but it works better when it's therapeutic for me. The impression that I got from them was you had to be firm with me and you had to be forceful, and that was the best way to deal with it. But the way that it sinks in better is to be clear with me in a calm environment. Like, have made mistakes with the doctors, as I say, but the doctor's like, this has worked, that's not worked, this has worked, that's not worked, why don't we try this, why don't we try that? And it's more her tone of voice and the more that she's dealing with it and the way that she approaches me rather than that allows it to sink in more. And they're allowing me to discuss the mistakes and learn by them. Whereas before, with mental health services in the past, it was like it was like we have made a mistake. We're not prepared to discuss it. We we've put this in place. We've put that in place without discussing it with me first. So it's just hard, really, about trying to find that balance and trying to build that trust again. But there is times where I've had letters back from the security department of the trust stating that if staff felt uncomfortable by me, that they were just going to keep reporting me to the police. There's been times, as I say, I've had anxiety attacks because of dreams, and paramedics and professionals have been told to ring the police on me because the dream's still classed as a direct threat. And I have checked with some solicitors and that in the past, and they're like, "Yeah, you've had a dream. You've had a dream. The thought process is still there," and it's like my doctor doesn't see that now, but yeah, these are the best doctors that I've had, and as I say in previous videos and from past experiences, I have I have made mistakes. I'm trying to overcome the problems and overcome the barriers. I know that my communication was one of the main issues that were leading to problems. This is why I've paid or paying £75 an hour or a session to work with a communication therapist that can do this, that can do that with me. So it's like, and the doctors are really taking on board all of that and other stuff as well. I've put complaints into the trust about safety plans not getting followed properly, but all that I get told is having mental health issues doesn't negate you from being criminally responsible. And it's like, I don't trust them as far as I can hit a golf ball. I'm not making any threats there. I go to the driving range when the weather's nice to clear my head, and I am not very good at it. But also, I don't trust myself with the mental health services as well. It's because of what was inbred into me by past experiences with the local mental health team where I'm from. I question what my intent is, what my integrity is towards female staff after they branded me a danger to women and implied that I wasn't going to get any more female involvement with my care ever again. But I don't get that with my doctors. I do not get that with my doctors or other professionals that I'm working with. But yeah, it's like I've got ideas that I want to do and want to try, but I don't want to do it through the mental health services. I know that I've been offered a different team to last time. I know that they're wanting to work at it with me, and problem is that it's still part of the same trust. They've still got their policies, their procedures, but yeah, it's like I did find some projects with charity, with autism charities, and I really felt that it could uplift me. This is what I want. This is what's gonna help me into getting to being a better person. But then I speak to someone else, and they're like, "We can understand why you don't want to work with community mental health anymore. However, understand your reasoning behind not wanting to work with them, and we can understand that. However, they felt like I could do something more specialist, so I'd let them know. I'd let the organisations know that, and it's like square one mental health services, but like I just feel that everything that I've worked hard for this year to get me back on track, and the stuff that I'm trying to avoid, I just feel like it's gonna end up end up leading me into doing something that I'm trying to avoid. So yeah, it's but yeah, to be totally honest with you, sorry, it's medication. I'll just take it. Sorry. Sorry, it was just my evening meds. That's what the alarm's for. To be totally honest with you, has it been a good year or has it been a bad year? Uh, Looking at it without the court appearance and the community mental health, it's been one of the best years that I've had since pre-COVID, possibly. Yeah, I'd say so. But yeah, I've managed to get things back on track, and I managed to get things back on track. I've got my driving license back, and my doctor, she she didn't think I'd get it back like that, and she said she must be amazing. She is, but yeah, the only problems that I've really had this year have been the anxiety with the court appearance, but then there's the added anxiety and added pressure of knowing what I want with secondary services and that kind of thing. But the doctors will be able to see that my anxiety has been a little bit more raised due to what's happening with the decisions that I need to make for secondary care and like the police and that kind of thing. But mainly it's the secondary care that's pushing me. But yeah, it's like it's like yeah, but then I need to think that but then I need to think I'm going out more with the girls out I'm wearing ladies' clothes more. My jeans and t-shirts are ladies, you can't tell. I don't wear the bra with them, but I might do. I might start, but I don't know. But you can't tell that they're ladies, and I'm thinking about transitioning the rest of my wardrobe soon. I just need to wait on a couple of things. I was thinking about doing it after the court case and holiday, but I think I might. I wasn't aware that the government are doing an extra £150 cost of living payment, so I might use that towards some of it. But I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. But when I'm out and I know that I've got ladies' clothes on, I'm like, when I've got ladies' clothes on, the sparkles there in my eyes, and I'm walking past myself, looking in shop windows and or reflection somewhere, and I'm like, yeah, this is me. This was my biggest fear. This is the journey that I'm on, and I'm really, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying it now. And I'm being true to myself, and being congruent, and being this person, and being that person. And my mum's like, why do I go to the doctors in ladies' clothes or go to appointments in ladies' clothes? Basically, it's because I want to be true to myself and true to my sensory needs and that kind of thing. And I can handle my anxiety a lot more better when I've got the girls out and when I've got that sparkle in my eye, and it's really uplifting for me. And it's like, yeah, I've tried the wig before. I've tried the wig before and it didn't work. It was too itchy, and I saw that. But someone else that was cross dressers or exploring their gender, he was, they're probably old enough to be parents, I think. But yeah, it's about knowing what I want and going down the path that I want, where I feel like I can be true, I can be congruent, I can be pleasing other people. But two of them things might happen. But like, you're never gonna please everyone at the same time. If I did, or if I knew the miracle cure, I'd be a multi-millionaire. But yeah, it's just about understanding what I want and understanding that journey path. I've got opportunities coming up and I am looking forward to them. Going to see Kylie next week at Manchester in the really good seats. I've got a sparkly dress, sequiny, £60 reduced to 10. I've got some jeggings to go on with them to make me look a little bit tidier. Gonna get the girls out, possibly a bit of makeup, possibly lipstick and mascara and that kind of thing. Bit of earrings, bit of jewellery. I don't wear the jewellery or the makeup all the time, it gets too much. If I'm going out for a special occasion, I do. But yeah, it's just about trying one thing, none that doesn't work, then trying another thing and improving. However, that's the same as working with getting my mental health back on track. I know that I get anxious and I know that I get the anxiety and I know that I do talk to the doctors about it just to vent and to get it out myself, get it out there. But it's it's a real joy, real joy that I have as well because I'm like what what's worked, what hasn't worked? Can I try this? Can I try that? Is this going to work? Is that going to work? It challenges me to get things back on track, and I'm like that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to go ahead with a complete medication change or try the extra tablet, but it was like making me drowsy in that as well. But it was like what do I enjoy? And it's like it's the chase for me. It's like knowing knowing what's gone wrong. Can I try this? Can I try that? So it's like I do vent, and I do talk like things might not be going wrong, and that kind of like things are going wrong, and that kind of thing. But it's like more to vent, get it out of my system. But it's like I do enjoy it in that as well, and it's like furniture and it's like furniture and that kind of thing. I remember years ago, I've been looking for months for an ottoman and a blanket box, and my social worker at the time was like, "Why don't you just buy a brand new one?" and that kind of thing. And I couldn't, I didn't see, I didn't see what I wanted. But part of that was the rush of the chase, the rush of the journey. It's like part of having the furniture part of having the furniture there was the enjoyment of going out, looking for it, looking at on Facebook Marketplace, messaging people, is this sold? Is that sold? Can you deliver? Can you do this? Can you do that? So yeah, it's just about getting out there, enjoying life and being true to who I am, be true to the Danielle side, be true to the Damien side. And yeah, it's just about knowing what I want, knowing what other people want, and just getting out there and enjoying it. And it's like, yeah, I've made mistakes, but I've got the doctors there supporting me. I've just feel like it is challenging at times, and it's mainly now the anxiety is to try to please other people and try to please other people about what what do they want from me? What do I want? Am I breaking the law doing things this way? Am I breaking the law doing things that way? And it's quite hard at times, but it's really rewarding in that as well. And to be totally honest with you, in my life with my autism and that kind of thing, with the autism and with my autism and it's where I want to be in life. It's always been hard, and like getting my driving license back, like the medical review and that, it's taken 2.5 years to get it back. And when I learned to drive anyway, it took about a year. And I've always gone the hard way, but to be totally honest with you, would have changed it. Would I genuinely have changed it? Looking back, looking back, would I'm getting a bit emotional, sorry. Looking back, would I have if I had two options, getting my license back, getting the license reviewed straight away and getting it done there and then, or would he have waited the 2.5 year to get it back? Hand on heart, I'd rather go the longest way around every time because it makes it more rewarding. It challenges you, and it's like, what have I done? What's gone wrong? Why has it gone wrong? What can I do better? And what can I do? What do I need to improve on myself? And it makes you appreciate small things. And it, I'd rather take I'd rather be take that way every day for the rest of my life because it challenges you. It makes you work for it. It challenges the mind. What's gone wrong? Why has it gone wrong? What can I do? What next do I need to do to prove that I can drive? Or what else do I need to prove to get my life back on track? Like for instance, like with the driving and that, it was like September last year. It was misinterpreted. Like as I said, I ran the crisis team. They told me to ring the police, and police had told me to ring the crisis team, and that kind of thing. And I got arrested, and the doctor at the time did the medical for me. But one of the questions was, does this person suffer from severe behavioural difficulties other people and towards other people that'll impact his ability to drive? And he put yes because of the way the professionals interpret it and that kind of thing. But my new doctors, my new doctors know that the mental health's been misinterpreted and that kind of thing. But it's like, what do I take it to court? Do I challenge it and that kind of thing? But I knew if I took it to court that I would have to pay if I failed it. Or do I hold back and wait? I knew that I knew that all I had to wait was for 3 months. And I'm like, met with the doctor and that kind of thing. And I'm like, in here, I knew in here, if I can get to the 28th of December, which my last arrest was the 28th of September, so got it to the 28th of December, I'll be starting this year with the contingency in hand that I need. And I'm like, yeah, I know that I've got the contingency in hand to allow me to apply for that driving license again. And the doctor just had to investigate, had to look from her side and that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, I'd done it. It's like I'd done it and it's really rewarding. And it's like, I remember getting it. I remember I was at the doctor's. This was on a Wednesday. And the doctor's like, we we've had a partners meeting and we're going to support you with your license application. So I'm like called in on the Friday, and I was called in on the Friday, and I'm like called in on the Friday just to double check the letter and that kind of thing. I was happy with it, so I got asked to come back later so that I could have the headed copy so that I could send my application with the doctors. And I'd sent some emails and that as well. So I get I get phone call. No, I'll get to that bit in a minute. So following Wednesday, I'm stood looking out my bedroom window. It's at the front of the apartment. There's two bedrooms at the front of the apartment. My living room's at the back. So I'm like stood. It was like lunchtime. I was waiting for someone to come over for something. I can't remember what for, but I can, but I don't want to go into details about that. But yeah, I'm like looked and saying to myself in at the back of here, in ideal circumstances, this letter should be enough to get me my license back. And I'm like, don't be daft. Don't reel myself in. Reel myself, reel myself in. Don't be daft. Reel myself in. Don't be daft. the there's going to be an extra stage at least, because normally what happens is with the DVLA, they want the doctors to write to say that you're medically fit to drive, and you submit your part with their letter, and then they want to ask the doctors more questions. So I'm telling myself, don't be daft. You need to do at least there's at least one more stage at least. And then I got a phone call in the morning, and I'm like, and this was the next morning, the very next morning, and I'm like, it's the DVLA. As soon as I said the DVLA, my heart had started racing. Have I done enough? Have have I done enough? Are you going to tell me that I've not got my license back or whatever? And it was gone. It was gone. Like whole world of emotions and that. And the phone call probably seemed like I was waiting longer than it than it was actually taken. And she's like, "Can you clear security?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "We're pleased to tell you that we're giving you your license back." And I'm like, "Do you mean to tell? Are you telling me that I've done it? I've done enough to get my license back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've done it. I've got it back." But then it took a little. But then I didn't realize at the time that I could get the gender changed to be gender neutral, like my bank card. I always thought that it was like a passport legal and that kind of thing. So I got it changed. No, I'd applied to get it changed, and it took longer to get the gender neutral license than it did for getting my license back as well. And I'm like, yeah, it's like I've done it, and it's it was that wasn't done with the mental health services, and the gender stuff wasn't done with the mental health services. I always had it in my head that I'd need my previous CPN, not going into names for legal reasons, that I'd had it in my head that she'd be the one to get me through it, to get me out of it, but it's like I did it myself, and I'm like, I'm like, I'm like, people have told me in the past that, like, my family and that in the past, when I've told people in the past in my family and that they wanted me to start working with the mental health services and that as well, they're telling me that I'm not taking responsibility and that kind of thing, and I shouldn't be working with other people for this, for that. But it's it's more it feels like I am taking more responsibility doing it myself, and I'm learning, I'm on a journey, and I've got the doctors there, and they're like really supportive, they're understanding. One of the very first things from my doctor to say to me when she first met me was that I've been totally misunderstood and misinterpreted in the past, and we're like, there's been boundary issues, but we're working on it, and it's like rewarding, a rewarding feeling, and it's like I was a little bit disappointed last year in that as well, where I was like Portugal and that kind of thing, and I'm like went on holiday, and I'm like I honest was saying to myself and that kind of thing that it would have been nice to celebrate the year anniversary of me dressing whilst I was on holiday and that kind of thing, and it didn't really click. It didn't really click that it was going to that it was happening whilst I was away, and I'm like, I was a little bit disappointed that it didn't happen whilst I was away, and I honestly thought that I did. That it, I honestly thought that it did. didn't. I honestly thought that it didn't happen whilst I was away, and I'm like, yeah, celebrating the, I'm celebrating the journey. I'm like celebrating the journey, and I'm like celebrating the journey, and that kind of thing. And it happened whilst I was on holiday, and it's like felt really magical in that because within the year, I tried at least everything that I could legally that I wanted to do, and it's it's like yeah, it's coming to me, and it's like if someone had said the previous year when it was starting to go bad with the community mental health team that someone had told me that if someone had told me in when the if someone had told me when things were going bad with the community mental health team that in a year and a half that I'd be going on holiday and dressing up in my lady's clothes, getting the girls out on a night every night for the fortnight, I would I wouldn't have believed him. I would have like, yeah, on your bike, and I got myself through that fear myself. I know that when I went to Bulgaria in that 1 year, parents were like, "Don't be wearing your lady stuff on holiday" and that kind of thing. But when I went to Bulgaria, all the lady stuff that I had was loungewear and stuff around the home, and that it wasn't really yeah suitable. But now it's the journey that I'm enjoying and none that I'm having to work at it, and I'm like that's scaring me a bit with the community mental health team in that as well because is it going to take away that self satisfaction of what I've got, what I've achieved, and it's like yeah, it's making me think at the moment. It's like my biggest issues at the moment are just trying to find a bit of structure and a bit of routine in my day. But people are saying that I might need trauma management to get me some of my mental health thoughts under control and like the anxieties under control. But the anxieties and the trauma that's coming back and the flashbacks are because of the way that a specific person from the community mental health team local local to where I live put me into that. So yeah, it's just about getting out there, enjoying myself and doing what's right for me and what's right for what's right for the girls. But yeah, it's a journey and I am enjoying it, and it's as I say, you walk past yourself, look at your reflection in a mirror, and you're like look, and there's a bit more of a glow and a little bit more of a sparkle in your eye, and it's like when I was first wearing my lady's clothes, and I didn't really when I was first taking pictures and that, something looked different in my face, something looked right. I didn't really know what it was, and there was more something about my eyes that I didn't really relate it to. I related it to something about my eyes or something or whatever. But then I was watching this video on YouTube about a transgender couple in Ireland or Southern Ireland, and in Ireland or Northern Ireland, sorry, because Ireland is Southern Ireland, sorry. but their they were talking about their journey, and one of them said your face looks different, your eyes looks different, and there's more of a sparkle there. And that's what I put it down. That was like, yeah, that's it. That's why you look different in the pictures. That's why my eyes look a bit more glowy. That's why there's a bit more of a twinkle there. But yeah, it's like journey. I'm enjoying it. Do I like transgender women? Do I like men or women or transgender women? And I've always stated that I like transgender women and cis women, and I find that I can relate more to transgender women because of similarities in the journey path and similarities the within the spectrum as well. So yeah, it's about meeting someone with the connection and that kind of thing. I'm still a virgin at 35, but people have said that I'll need to pay to understand what I want, and I'd rather not pay to understand what I want. I'd rather meet that person and get to know them and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm on a journey path, and it's like, yeah, it's like I'm doing it, I'm living it, and it's a really good, positive moment knowing that something's not worked and you've had to work your hard. You've had to work yet the hardest you've ever had to work, working your ass off to prove to professionals that there's more to you than what the labels state or what people have stated. So yeah, it's really hard at times, but it's really enjoyable as well because I know that I'm learning. I know that I'm learning, and I know that I've worked for what I want. And when I when I had the green light last at the end of last year to or the beginning of this year, end of last year, beginning of this year, that I could practice my ideas, like bring the doctors in and bring the communication therapist in. And I'm like, did it work? Didn't it? And I'm like, it worked better than I thought because it worked better than I thought. And it's like, yeah, I'm learning from her. She's got autism as well. So we've got similar experiences. And it's like, the more that we get talking, the more that we get to know each other, that find that we have more connection and in our journey paths. And I'm not saying this because I fancy her, or I'm not saying this because I'm attracted to her, which is not the case at all. But what I mean is, we both have similar values and similar goals and aspirations on our journey paths with autism, and we both want to inspire the world for change, and we both want people not to change themselves, but for society to change instead of instead of forcing that person to change. So we've got similar values and similar beliefs, and that's like driving me forward as well because I know that I'm not alone, and I know that there is others out there with similar experiences and they want similar things to what I want, and it's like, yeah, and that's why I do these videos as well because I want to inspire change, and inspire people to be the best that they can be and to follow the dreams, to follow the goals, to follow the hearts. But most importantly, to be true to themselves, to be congruent, to be best that they can be from within here, from the heart. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's video. And sorry it's a bit long, it's just that I really wanted to get out what I'm saying and like get out what I'm saying. But yeah, it's helped me as well. It's just made me feel a bit warm there and a bit more cozy because there's more to life than sometimes I think there is in that as well. So yeah, if you've got any more questions, feel free to message me and feel free to ask any questions and to be being true to yourselves and to not let others put you down, but or belittle you. But yeah, thank you and goodbye.